Welcome to the LCMHC Mystic Musings. I'm Christine Free. I'm a licensed clinical mental health counselor. I'm an energy healer, hypnotherapist, yoga instructor, mystic, mother, and a lifelong seeker of the alchemy between psychology and spirituality. This podcast is a sacred corner of the world where mind and mystery sit together. My hope is that each time you listen, you feel a little more seen, a little more connected, and reminded that you are everything and nothing less. Thank you for joining me today. Hello. So, let's get right into it. Today, I just want to share a personal story about who I am and why I'm here. So, people often ask how someone goes from traditional therapy to energy work and mysticism. And honestly, for me, this was never really a transition. It was an evolution and transmutation throughout my life experience and my experience as an individual and practitioner. So just a little bit about me. Since I was a kid, I have been drawn to the mystical. I grew up with my mother always in the garden. I would call her a white witch for sure. And I was always drawn to the occult. I was always trying to learn. I wrote my college essay about my imaginary friend, and these are the good stories, right? So philosophy and spirituality just felt really stored in my bones. And then as I've gotten older, it's just grown from there. When I was 16, I did an animal medicine card spread. So if you're ever familiar with that, it's really cool. I love doing them. So in that spread, it's essentially, if I can count correctly, it's 9 cards. You have your North card, your East card, your West card, your South card, and sorry, I was like counting in my head, the never eat shredded wheat thing that you learn. And then you have your within card, you have your below card, you have your right and your left card. And so it's really in depth. And I remember doing that, and to this day I can tell you all of my animals and that I resonate deeply with them. And one of them, it's the West card, which deals a lot with memory and things like that, was the whale. And the whale in animal medicine, it's memory. It's the story keeper. It's the Akashic records keeper. So really been drawn to this work. And so at the same time, growing up, I was always the therapist friend. That was always a title I seemed to keep. I could analyze, listen, hold space, even before I even understood what was going on. I actually, when I think back on it, I had this journal, this little, I think it was either wide or college ruled journal, and I would literally write just inspirational things. This was like 7th grade, and I remember writing all kinds of stuff in it and feeling really proud of it. And I ended up giving it to my best friend because she was going through a lot growing up. And I ended up just like giving it to her. And I always think about that, like, man, I would love to go back and read what I wrote when I was in 7th grade. So, but yeah, I originally had wanted to teach English literature and creative writing, but psychology and the mystical has just always been a louder calling. So after graduating with my master's in clinical counseling, I dove heavy into trauma work and made that my niche. I have done every certification possible. I still continue to do that to this day. And I've met with hundreds of people. In the almost 2 decades of doing this work, I can absolutely say that. And in doing that, especially when I reflect back on my beginning stages as just a little fledgling therapist, I think about it, and the more I look back, the more I realized that pure cognition wasn't enough, and I was not tapping into all of my skills as a provider. So to all of the clients that I served in the beginning days, I want you to know that I am so sorry that I did not have all the tools that I have now. You deserved them, and I hope that in your life journey you have found another provider and practitioner that offers you even more. But thank you, like deep in my soul, thank you for sharing that time with me. But I do want to say that. So, but with that being said, I really recognize that healing isn't mental. And so that's something that if you take away anything from this little intro video that I'm doing today, is that healing is not mental. It's cellular. It's spiritual. It's energetic. It is emotional. It is beautiful and absolutely gnarly all at once. And so, with that being said, I started feeling more confident in my therapy practice to start engaging and having more of these other alternative modalities into my practice. So I do a lot of weaving hypnosis, breath work, understanding the language of the body. I do energy work with angelic light and Reiki. And so all of this has been really it's expanded my practice and expanded more to give more to my clients. It's been positively beautiful. And when I opened my practice 3 years ago, I had no idea just how big everything would get and how important it is to just incorporate all of this so much. So truly, this podcast, I really want to focus on bringing it all together. The clinical insight, the spiritual reflections, lived humanity. And I would love over time to invite guests to share their own experiences as practitioners, as thrivers, and kindred spirits alike. So I'm really excited about this space, about what I am going to offer, and I so cannot wait to connect and hear more from you. So, the vision of this podcast. I know that I gave a very brief intro about myself and what my goal is, but I really also want to make sure that I am sharing the vision. So I have chosen and started going by the LCMHC Mystic. That is where you can find me on all of my socials. And so bringing this clinical and spiritual aspect is the vision. So each month I will be planning on sharing musings. I want to draw from therapeutic wisdom, mystical traditions, and everyday life. So the hope is that in some episodes we're going to be diving deep into things like the nervous system, the temple of faith. So I had this really cool conversation with a client, a few weeks ago in regards to let's dissect the word faith and looking at it from a 4-pillar and 4-dimensional space. So things of that nature. And then others, I hope that others will be able to come on and share their experiences and have other short reflections. I do plan on also adding some guided meditations, just really allowing fluidity in this podcast. So I just want to think of this as a fireside conversation, a fireside conversation between other therapists, between other mystics, all walks of life, truly all humans. And my invitation is that I invite you to listen the way you'd approach a ritual. So, and when I say approach a ritual, I'm talking with curiosity, with creativity, an open heart. And I want there to be this deep knowing that there is nothing to fix here. So whether you're a healer, a parent, a seeker, or simply just someone trying to find some form of healing, and you don't want that surface level healing, You belong here, and you don't need to be fixed. So my wish is that these conversations can help you remember that wholeness that never left you. In future episodes, I'll use this invitation space to offer brief guided meditations, as I stated before, somatic practices. So I might tell you, hey, why don't you get up right now? If you're not driving or if you're in a place where you can stand up, I need you to stand up. Stand up right now. So that's part of this vision. And I look forward to all of that. So before closing, let's honor this moment with a simple breath practice. I want you to honor yourself, your time, and to breathe in gratitude. So let's do this together. You ready? So let's take a slow breath. So inhaling in, hold that breath. And then let's exhale out. And just notice your heart space, that quiet center that's always witnessed everything you've ever experienced, the good, the hard, the ordinary. And ask yourself, what part of me longs to be remembered today? And just allow a sacred activation within you, calling forth love, joy, and admiration for all that you've done, all that you've survived, all that you've accomplished, endured, and shared. Remember, you are everything and nothing less. All right. Thank you for joining me today. So if this musing resonated, please follow the LCMHC Mystic Musings on Spotify or wherever you listen. You can also connect with me at my website, merkabasacredhealing.com, or on other social medias with the @ of the LCMHC Mystic. Deep gratitude to the donors who helped this sacred corner reach a wider circle. And if you'd like to support or collaborate, please reach out through my website. I also have a Ko-Fi, and I'd love to connect. So until next time, please remember, I've said it so many times, and I'll say it so many times again. You are everything and nothing less. So much love.